morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the Lions and Leos watching us today, and welcome to Honestly AP, a talk show with past international director and third vice president endorsee PID AP Singh. We are here today to understand how he thinks, what he believes in about the organization, what he looks forward to in the organization. Welcome, PID sir, to this show.
Such a pleasure to be with you.
Let's jump into the questions. We've received more than 250 responses from all over the world, and there's so many people that want to ask you questions. They want to send their love and blessings to you. So we shortlisted a few, and today we love to know more about you, more about how you think. You've served as a lion in this organization for nearly 4 decades. 1984 was the year when you joined, if I'm not wrong. And when you joined, did you ever imagine that you would be running for the highest office in this organization?
Oh no, never. I mean, when I became the member of my home club way back in 1984, I had never had the thought that I'd even become a club president. That was just an opening, that was just an opportunity that came my way, and that's a long story, I'm not going to go into that. And so I accepted the membership of the club. I never even thought about, I wasn't even clear about the entire organization of the hierarchy in this organization, that is a district and a multiple district and then the international board. It was nowhere on my radar. I just joined to be a lion.
Well, that's I'm sure that's inspiring for all the new members that have recently joined. Maybe a few years down the line, you would also be over here. Over the last 37 years, I'm sure you've seen several changes in the organization. The way we serve, the way we lead, gradual changes in perspectives of the goals and the mission of Lions Clubs International and how we achieve them. What is that one single change that you believe is close to your heart, or you love that change, that that's one thing that you really think that took our organization forward in its perspective?
That's a very good question and not an easy one when you ask just one single change. So let me give you a larger perspective. I believe the organization is more prone and more open to the concept of diversity today than it was earlier. So when I talk of diversity, that then allows me to talk of diversity on many planes. Say today it's so much more open for the young adults, opening up for the women, opening up in so many countries and constitutional areas, the kind of service that we take up, and the kind of flexibility that is offered in this organization. It's entirely a very, very diverse organization. In fact, even if you look at the composition or the individuals, our great leaders who lead this organization, today we have President Doug Alexander. We are so proud of him as our president. And then you look at all the other executive officers. Look at the diversity that they come from all parts of the world. And that is something that I believe in every respect, in every aspect of the organization today, diversity is so well ingrained. And I think that is really a great driving force for the organization.
That's true. And I mean, that is why probably we keep saying kindness and diversity. The whole year we've heard that last year.
Right.
And you've hit the bullseye when you said diversity. And, speaking about changes, the past year and a half has been a massive change to the whole world, and especially to our organization, on how we have been doing service in the traditional way before this. We've had to reimagine our ways of service, our ways of leading, and we've taken up this challenge. Undoubtedly, Lions all over the world have taken up this challenge to get into this new era of the digitally driven world. There is this term that we've always heard you speak to Lions when it comes to Lions in service. If you could tell that word to our viewers.
Are you referring to that Amazon of service?
True, Amazon of service. That's exactly. It's such an ingeniously beautiful word to describe what Lions do all over the world and what Lions should aim to achieve. We've often heard you say that we should become the Amazons of service. And how do you think we'll be able to do that? And what do you mean by that term?
I mean, it's kind of a vision. When I talk of Amazon of service, if you tell me to write down in a few sentences as to what I really mean, that would be very difficult because it's a vision. If you look at Amazon, what do we mean by the word Amazon? Today, Amazon is kind of a platform which has totally redefined the way of doing business. And there is look at the expanse of the kind of goods and services that Amazon offers. The same thing relates to our own organization, Lions Clubs International. Look at our menu. I mean, sometimes individuals have come back and asked us that we take up so many, or our clubs take up so many different kinds of service activities. Would it not be better that we focused on just a few? But then our business so much matches the Amazon style, where Amazon has an unending menu, and our menu of services is also unending. And together with that, what Amazon really has done is to leverage technology. And using technology, it has brought in the providers of those goods and services so close to those who need those goods and services. So it's a platform that connects. So my vision of when I say that Lions Clubs International could be the Amazon of service is simply that we could become that greatest, that wonderful platform across the entire world where anybody who has resources that can be given or that can be contributed for community development can be posted on the resources availability side. And anywhere in the world where those resources are required, they could talk to them, they could have conversations with them, and the resources could flow there. So the needs and the resources could match. Just look at the example, in various places, supposing when there have been refugee problems in Europe and in other parts of the world, there are so many European countries that sent out tents, which were required. They had the availability of the tents, and the tents were really required to save lives there. Look at our own country, India, my friend, when we suffered a shortage of oxygen. And that was a very sad state for about 3 to 4 weeks that this country got into. But then we had friends from Canada, we had friends from China who sent us oxygen concentrators. There was availability there, there were financial resources there, there was need here. The association, the platform of the association helped in bridging that gap, in making that bridge where the resources could just flow to the needs. Now, if this can be done on a regular level, and we could be that platform of bringing the needs and the resources together, well, that's the reason that we exist. The reason that we exist is our motto, that we serve. That's the way our service could really be leveraged to the next level, a very high level, using technology and truly making an impact. So that's my vision when I say that Lions Clubs International will definitely be, in the times to come, an Amazon of service.
That's I think, beautiful, as well as it opens up your mind to so many things. I'm sure all the viewers over here, Lions and Leos, just like me, there's so much be going right now in their head on so many things that we can do. And it's, as you said, it's simple, basic economics, demand and supply in terms of service, and bringing them together. I mean, that's just so simple and so beautiful that you've termed that Amazon of service. I mean, that's amazing. From the A to Z in Amazon, let's talk about the L in between, which stands for leadership. Your campaign slogan aptly says, lead to serve, serve to lead. What is the inspiration behind this war cry, if I may say so? And how do you think Lions across the globe can follow this notion to transform into able leaders while serving?
My good friend Ayush, first of all, it's not a war cry. It's just a way of looking at things. It's a belief system. And this is nothing that I have, or my friends, or the team that works so closely with me, because I don't think I can do anything alone. It's all the friends and the team that does everything, that we've coined it new when we got into this campaign. If anyone goes back and looks at the literature, year 2000, 2001, even when I was a district governor, this was also a slogan which I promoted in my district. Lead to serve, serve to lead. I believe that this really sums up the entire philosophy of the organization. We are here to provide leadership to our communities, and the way that we can provide leadership is through service. I believe in the concept of servant leadership. It's, every club president is the CEO of the club. Every district governor is the CEO of the district. But being a CEO of a profit organization and being a CEO of a humanitarian service club organization actually mean different things. So in this kind of an organization, leadership is for a particular purpose, and that purpose is to enhance service so that we make this world a slightly better place than what it has been before. Even if we can make that slight difference, every individual, every club can make that slight difference. That's justifying our existence as a Lions Club, and that's justifying our pride in wearing this Lions logo. That's what I think.
That's so nice. I think, when you talk about the team, I take this moment to shout out to all the people who sent us so many questions for PID AP. I believe you also now become part of the campaign team for PID AP, and we thank you for sending us those questions. And I'm sure that 1.4 million members of organization will lead to serve and serve to lead with you, sir. And even as the world's largest service organization, we are always on the lookout for new members, new blood in the organization, and we strive to make our family bigger, as we keep saying, our Lions family. We've come up with fee waivers, we've come up with the whole concept of GMT, the new GMA approach is here. We keep doing conclaves all over the world, but we're still, we're still looking how to boost more membership. How do you plan to take our membership to that magical 1.5 million figure that we're always trying to look into?
Now, before I answer that question, one thing is very clear, and although I know that you didn't say it intentionally, but I need to make it clear. It's not about members working with me. This year, we work under the leadership of our International President, Doug Alexander. Next year, we will work under the leadership of our next year's president, and that's going to be Brian Sheehan. Thereafter, we will have another president in Patty Hill, and thereafter, we'll have another president in Fabricio Oliveira. Then, God willing, with your support and support of everybody, I could be having a turn to serve this organization as well. And now coming to this question of yours of 1.5 million, I think we should stop thinking, genuinely I'm telling you, stop thinking of 1.5 million. We're just caught up there. We are trying to think out of the box. My concept is, let's start thinking of a new box. Because even when you start thinking out of the box, you're actually tied to that box. We feel we are 1.4 plus, so the next destination is 1.5. I believe the next destination should be 2 million. And that's doable. That's simply doable if we can build pride in the membership of our clubs. If an individual is proud of wearing a Lions label pin, if an individual is proud of what one's Lions Club does, of the kind of service that Lions Club provides, then that individual will do everything possible to invite more of his or her friends, relatives, associates to be a member of the club. It is only if we do not have that pride that we find that individuals are not inviting others to come in and join our clubs. We need to enhance what is called the club experience, member satisfaction level. If the club experience is enhanced, if the member satisfaction index goes up, if the involvement and engagement of the members goes up, that's what's got to be targeted. And thereafter, these figures will just follow. The increase in figures will just be a result. It will be a result of that enhanced involvement, engagement, and pride in membership of a Lions Club. That's the way to go, according to me.
So, all my friends over here, PID AP says it's in your hands to take us not just across 1.5, but maybe even 2 million in the future. And, we've received a very interesting question on how you see the future of our organization, considering the aging of our membership and the hard competition in the service opportunities that people are getting all over the world now. So how do you plan to increase the importance of modern marketing, and especially on how to appeal more millennials into our organization?
Once again, nobody does anything alone. It's a group. It's a team approach. When we say anyone doing anything in the organization, it actually means getting the global team to work with you. There's an international board. There are multiple districts. There are districts, you get the entire leadership of the world to come across, to come with you, or come as a team and work. And that's the way we've been working. That's the reason why we've been successful in the past 104 years, and that's what will also keep us going. But extending our organization, marketing, going beyond, that's very important. We really need to make sure that the manner in which we run our clubs is contemporary today. When you talk of millennials, I would say with millennials, why don't you include even the Gen Zers? Because these are individuals who come from a generation that have never used a rotary phone. Now, I'm not using a pun. They've never used a payphone either. They've not used cassettes. They don't know what a typewriter is all about. They've perhaps just seen pictures. They've not used fax. They don't know what paper maps look like. You've got Google Maps that will take you right to your doorstep. They don't know what paper maps look like, which took us just to the city centers and nowhere else. It's a very different world. They come from a generation where they would order pizzas 3 a.m. in the morning to be delivered to them at 3:20 a.m. And they would choose which supplier's pizzas they would want and with which toppings. They would expect that quality, they would expect that time, and it's according to their convenience that they would require the deliveries. So the entire lifestyle is changing. When we are going to be talking to millennials, we need to make sure that our clubs have a culture and our clubs are millennial friendly. Our clubs are Gen Zer friendly. And that's a different lifestyle. So the clubs will have to adapt. Maybe there will be new or separate clubs of individuals coming who are from this generation. The manner of reporting, the manner in which we run our district conventions and our region and zone meets and multiple district conventions, perhaps that will have to undergo a change. We will have to adapt, we'll have to learn, and this learning will have to be both ways. People of my generation will have to learn from the millennials. We will not be required, we are not required to talk to the millennials. We are required to talk with the millennials and listen to what the millennials are saying. Listen to what they expect from an organization like ours. And then we can bring in those changes and then we can move forward. I'm sure the leadership in clubs, in districts, in multiple districts across the world is well aware of this and is taking steps in the right direction.
That's true. Millennial friendly, that's a new word that I've heard. And I think that you're right about it. The current millennials, we're all quirky. We need things in certain ways and it has to be attractive to us. And we are also quirky in our dance moves. But we know someone else who could give us a run for our money, and I have something special for you here. I went and dug into some archives and I got a couple of pictures of yours over here. The crowd can see it on the screen. And we've always seen you in such a serious mode, always teaching us, always, sessions and speeches, and we've always learned something from you. And I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen this side of yours. I have to ask you this. Which song could have been playing in the background that made you groove like this?
I don't really remember which song. Actually, it's being with friends. And it's actually cultures. There are different cultures. I come from a culture which is, let's say the Indian culture. The way we attend our meetings and the way we conduct ourselves at our district conventions and multiple district conventions is entirely so different from the way leaders conduct themselves or even expected to conduct themselves at district conventions in other parts of the world. I've had these opportunities to attend conventions in different continents, and I'm not going to narrate some of those experiences, but if we tell you the way, the connotation of the word fun in a district convention, say in some parts of Europe or in some parts of Australia, is so different from the connotation of the word fun in a district convention in India. So we live with our cultures, we are more comfortable with our cultures, but then there are moments when one does let things go loose and one enjoys. So I can't really remember which number would have been playing, but then I have some very good friends by my sides. And perhaps it must be one of those moments that we just thought of, being a little loose.
So maybe
That's all.
in the next episode of Honestly AP, we'll see you group with some of your friends. We're gonna call them. And
Sure.
while we talk about friends, we have a small surprise for you, sir. Today on this show, we are now going to be joined by the one and only past international director, Lion Sangeeta Jatia. Ma'am, please join us. Welcome, ma'am, to
Hello.
the show. And the question that I want to ask you is, you've been one of the most closest confidants and friends of PID AP over the years, and we've all seen him serve, we've seen him lead, we've seen him grow. Can you think of an incident or a situation for the first time where you realized, not as a friend, but as a member of this organization, not even a PID, as a simple individual member of this organization, that yes, this is the person that should one day lead our organization?
You missed out one thing. I think I'm the biggest critic.
True, that's true.
That's what I think has been my forte, and I believe that is maybe the reason why I'm sitting here.
I must say it, I'm sorry to interrupt you, please continue after that, Lady Sangeeta, that one of my greatest strengths has been the genuine and honest critique that I have constantly received from PID Sangeeta. Her words have not, on many occasions, been music to my ears. But then that's been the truth. Somebody always needs to show a leader what the reality is. That connect with the ground level is most important. Because when a leader loses that connect with the ground level and does not have the best of friends to come back and give the true feedback, I think that's what causes some serious concerns. And for the kind of the best critique and friend that you have been, in fact, I am extremely grateful. I have no words to thank for the role that PID Sangeeta has played.
Well, since you're really being honest, even I can be absolutely honest today. I wish you were not hearing this, but Ayush, you asked me, did you really feel that you could become a president? I don't think I ever thought that way, that PID AP would go up to become a president or something. But yes, gradually, as we started working in the organization, and then of course everybody has ambitions, and as he started, you said, what was the thing that really, one thing, he's known for his oratorial skills, there's no doubt about it. He has a way with words, that's absolutely there. But it's not only about the words, it's the way he used the analogies, the way he used to use incidents which sometimes amazed me. And that doesn't come just by Google, going on Google and searching. It's that inherent knowledge that he had. He reads, reads so much, and he's been reading for years. So that knowledge which comes out, I think that makes a difference. So when he used to speak in maybe different cultures, and he used to relate so well. I remember a time in Africa when he was speaking and he related to the African culture. That made me realize that yes, this is a person who can maybe be a fit for every culture of the world. So that's definitely been his greatest strength. And of course, loves this organization, knows the organization. He loves the figures also. And he loves this, the things that make us work, whether it is finances, whether it's membership, and of course, leadership. So it was a holistic, you see somebody who's concentrated just on membership. You see somebody who's only caring about maybe leadership. But here was a person, of course, service was important, and he always came up with these, always challenging us. You've been a target for many of these challenges. You can't do it this way. This is too basic. You can't do this. This is being done. Let's do something different. So that challenge and always wanted to do something. I'll say something audacious. Let's do this. And then when we've done it, it's been, that's been the challenge in the way that he can get people going. I remember one incident I just like to share. There was this line member in our district, and he was, you couldn't get him to donate money. There was a flood or there was a cyclone, I can't remember what it was, and when AP was there and he gave a speech, he spoke, he motivated Lions to contribute, and we collected a sizable amount of money at that very point. Now when this gentleman came out, next morning, he called up and he said, I don't know what happened to me yesterday. I should never go to a meeting where AP is speaking because he can even make me open my purse strings. So a person who can do that, that's what we require. Fundraising, membership, leadership, finances. I hope you're not heard this. And I'm sure he'll be a great president.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I mean, I've been a target.
This puts me under pressure.
I've also been a part of those challenges, but it does, you're right, it does bring out the best in us. And in so many incidents where he's told us to do better and we've done
I'll tell you, my friend, it's very easy to do something which we've done earlier. We've done it in a good way earlier. It's easy to do it in a good way again and repeat it the third and the fourth and the fifth time. The real challenge in life, not only just as a Lion member, but then in life perhaps also is to do it better and then even better. Because if we've reached a certain level, we need to go beyond that threshold in everything that we do in life, and why not in our own service activities, in the way we run our clubs, in the way we organize our meetings and our conventions. Each year a better year. And each year we walk forward, and that's what this organization is all about.
Always forward, as we say. That's
Thank
true.
you. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. We have another of your friends joining us, all the way from Arizona, USA. We have past International President Joe Preston, and he wants to ask a question to you. Can we have the question up, please?
Past International Director AP, this is Past International President Joe Preston. I just wanted to know why you are the best candidate.
So you've just heard the question from past International President Preston. He wants to ask you, why are you the best candidate for the third Vice President designation? Would you like to say something?
First of all, this is another great surprise. And thank you very much, past President Preston, for taking out the time. And not only taking out the time for asking this question. And you've been one such individual, our leader, our past president, that I've always looked up to, because you have been greatly a model of servant leadership. I still remember when you delivered your acceptance speech at the International Convention when you became a president, that you openly spoke to the lions of the world, that by accepting presidency you were actually descending to the bottom of the pyramid to be able to serve the lions of the world. And what a great lesson that was. I've never forgotten it. And today when this question comes from you, sir, I don't know whether I'm the best candidate, truly. I wanted to serve this organization, truly speaking, honestly, genuinely, sincerely stating that I was looking forward to this opportunity. But then the executive officers and the members of the board and the leadership of this association has accorded me this opportunity. It's they who would perhaps know what they found in me at this point of time to consider me to be the best candidate. I otherwise believe that it's never a question of a best candidate. It's the question always of a right candidate at the right time. Because I was a candidate even some years ago. And that time I was told by the international leadership, not now. It didn't really affect me. I continued to work with the same enthusiasm, the same zeal, and the same spirit, because I love this organization. And then a time came when this opportunity was or has been given to me. So I continue to serve like I've always been, and essentially I continue to learn every time, every day that I serve with my friends. It's the leadership, the international leadership, that perhaps would be in a better position to tell you what they found in me more appropriate at this point of time in giving me this opportunity. But I'll just conclude by saying that this opportunity now having been given, I will do my best, everything that's possible, to live up to the trust and the faith that the Lions and the leadership of the world has bestowed on me.
That's true, sir. And I'm sure so many Lions and Leos around the world, like PID Preston, myself, we all believe that you are the right candidate at the right time for third Vice President. And with that, we come to a close for this episode of Honestly AP. I thank all our live audience today sitting with us, and all the viewers, Lions and Leos, who are sitting and watching from the safety of their home. Thank you so much for joining us today and sending in your questions. We will definitely be back with episode 2 with PID AP and more fun surprises, guests, and maybe PID AP's some quirky dance moves. Till then, all of you stay safe and lead to serve, serve to lead.